How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video, and if this isn't welcome back, please do hit that big red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. If you do end up enjoying this video, please do leave a like as well, as that is also much appreciated. Well, today, guys, what we're going to be doing is going through the championship stadiums and then ranking them from 24th all the way to the 1st, based off how they look, the condition they're in, the fans inside the stadium and the facilities around. Without further ado, let's get into number 24. The worst stadium in the championship, in my opinion, is the DW Stadium from Wigan. And I don't really like the look of this stadium, and on match days it's normally quite empty as well. They can't seem to fill it, so it doesn't look nice. They can't fill it. The atmosphere is normally quite poor, and that's just because you can't really generate an atmosphere when the stadium isn't very full. And yeah, it's quite down the bottom of the list for me. And in at number 23, I've put the Medeski Stadium of Reading. I honestly don't mind the look of this stadium. It's a classic tissue box stadium kind of atmosphere, but when there isn't much atmosphere in the first place, it doesn't really work. No fans of Reading are normally quite quiet. Facilities inside the stadium are also the best. Food can be quite expensive as well. But yeah, so I've put the Medeski Stadium of Reading at number 23. 22, a recently promoted side from League One to the Championship. I put Barnsley's Oakwell Stadium. I am a fan of the old stadiums as well, but this one's looking quite run down, and especially in some areas does need some renovation. And I do think Barnsley could do with a new stadium altogether, like a proper tissue box stadium, because they do sometimes have a good atmosphere in the Barnsley Stadium, but they just need something to keep that in, like a classic tissue box stadium, because the old one with the gaps in the side as well, it is looking quite run down, and some place needs some TLC, and for me that's why it's at the bottom. Number 21, a reasonably new stadium for the championship. It is Hull City's KCOM Stadium. I'm not really a fan of stadiums with branded names as well, that's why it's quite near the bottom, like Medeski and the DW. But the KCOM, it's got a capacity of around 13,000, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below. But it's not really a good atmosphere. The owners aren't very good, and they can't generate the fans into the stadium as they did when they were in the Premier League. And it's normally results in the stadium being quite empty and the atmosphere not being the best. But when the stadium can get quite full and be really packed to the brim, I think they can generate a good atmosphere. In number 20, I put Kenilworth Road. Now, the atmosphere inside Kenilworth Road for Luton Town is normally quite good. They got a great group of fans at Luton, normally creating quite a lot of noise, but just because of where the stadium is, in a classic terrace kind of stadium, it isn't really fit for the championship anymore, especially the away end. And I think it does need renovating, or even a new stadium completely for Luton Town, like another tissue box to keep that atmosphere in. The Luton Town fans do generate a good atmosphere, but it's just this old stadium around it and the old buildings, and it does look run down in some areas, and I do think that does need renovating or scrapped and a completely brand new stadium. And in number 19, this last season for the championship is Griffin Park. After this, Brentford will move into their new stadium. I think it's called like the Brentford Community Stadium. But Griffin Park, it's an old stadium. It's got the terrace away end, which I do like, but the rest of the stadium, it's got quite a few blind spots as well, restricted view areas within the stadium. That's really good for the fans. If the fans are having a good day, it'll be loud, but normally it's not the greatest for atmosphere. Number 18, a recently relegated side. Bit of a weird one this, because I know most of you won't agree. I put the John Smith Stadium. As I was saying, I don't really like names like that for stadium. So, yeah, the John Smith Stadium. But it has got a quite unique design to it with the arches on the stadium, and I really like the stadium as well. They're all joined together and there's no empty corners, and that's not how it is at the Huddersfield Town Stadium. And yeah, that's why I put it towards the bottom. At number 17, I've put the Den, another one without the completing corners. But Millwall do have a good atmosphere inside their stadium, it's just the corners really let it down. It also can be quite expensive for the championships, with ticket prices and food, and the away days being quite expensive for visiting fans. I think that's why he's still at the bottom. At number 16, I put the Valley, another recently promoted side, Charlton Athletic. I do quite like the look of this stadium, but it hasn't really got anything to it. It does look quite odd, especially the end where it isn't connected. It does look quite odd in that bit. I do like the corner bit where it's all the way around. Capacity of 26,000. The Valley can be quite loud, and they do have a good set of fans, but in and around the stadium it's not really looking the best. It does look quite run down, even though it's recently new/renovated in some areas, but some of it does look quite run down and in need of some TLC. In number 15, I put Blackburn's Ewood Park. It's another old one that I'm not really a fan of. The floodlights aren't the best, especially on like a Tuesday night. It can look quite dark. The fans aren't the loudest as well, and yeah, it doesn't really generate a good away day and can be quite poor. At number 14, I put Hillsborough. I am a fan of the look of the Hillsborough Stadium, even though it is quite an old one, but the prices for an away day at Hillsborough can be quite expensive, towards the top end of the Championship. And the home fans of the Sheffield Wednesday, on a Steel City derby, the atmosphere can be buzzing, but on a game against Stoke City, for example, the atmosphere isn't always the best there. Number 13, I put Stoke City Stadium, the Bet365 Stadium. I'm really not a fan of stadiums being named after betting companies, as they can lead people down the wrong way and have certain connotations with the football club. But Bet365's headquarters is in Stoke, so I do see the correlation there. But I do like the look of the stadium as well, and on a good day these fans can be quite loud in the Stoke City Stadium, but especially against my team Derby County, but sometimes they are just, it's like a library sometimes. And at number 12, I put Birmingham City's St Andrews. I am quite a fan of the look of this one, but for me the Garrison Lane end does really let it down. It just looks out of place in this rather new modern stadium, and if they were to update that, because the atmosphere inside St Andrews is quite good and the prices aren't too bad, I think it'd be up this list in a better position, but because of that end I'm not really a fan of it, and I think it just looks out of place. And in at number 11, I put Bristol City's Ashton Gate. I am a fan of the look of this one as well, but the atmosphere inside isn't the best, but it is a nice stadium. It does have a quite nice look to it, and that's why I put it in. Number 10, I put the Riverside Stadium, another one I'm quite a fan of the look of, but it also has a good atmosphere on. If the Middlesbrough fans can really get it going, it can have a cracking atmosphere. In at number 9, I've put Preston North End's Deepdale Stadium. I'm not really a fan of the look of it, but I do like the faces painted in to the seats in the white on each end. I think that is quite unique, but because of how old it looks, and it's not always full, so the atmosphere isn't always the best, but when it is full the atmosphere can be quite good. I just don't really like the look of it, but for them reasons. But because when it is full it does have a really good atmosphere, so I'll put it high up on the list. Number 8, I put Swansea's Liberty Stadium, another one of those classic sort of tissue box stadiums to keep the atmosphere in, a rather new one as well for the Championship. And I do really like the look of the Liberty Stadium as well. I think it has a really good design to it, the way the stands are all laid out and the way the stands are built. But the atmosphere cannot be the best, but on a good day like against Cardiff City, the atmosphere is cracked. Number 7, bit of a rogue shout, I put Loftus Road of Queen's Park Rangers. I really like the look of this stadium with the outside. There are some restricted view areas, but it's got a cracking atmosphere, and I really do kind of like the old square look to it. I just really like it. In number 6, I put West Brom's Hawthorns. Now it looks alright to me. It's a bit run down in some places, but mainly like in the main stand it does look quite new and modern, and on a good day the atmosphere is also really good. Fans love a good sing and a good shout. At number 5, I put the City Ground of Nottingham Forest. I know a lot of people put it higher up on their list of the ranking of the Championship, but they do struggle to fill it most weeks, and if they do get the new stadium that they've been planning for and have been granted permission for by the council, it might be a bit higher up on the list. But they do have some good fans, and it's not always the most buzzing place to be. It is when they play my team Derby County, but on a normal day against Stoke on a Tuesday night, it's not the best place to be. But my team Pride Park, probably the person that's put it the highest up on any of their list. but especially on a good day, I really like the look of it. The prices are fair, the food's decent, and it's close to the train station, and it's in a good position for everything, I think. And in my opinion, on a good day, for example against West Brom, a game we needed to win to make playoffs, we couldn't have a draw, wouldn't lose, we needed a win, and the atmosphere and them was buzzing. I was sat in the north stand and the whole stadium was singing, bouncing all the way through, and especially it helped that we won 3-1. I just think it's such an underrated stadium in the Championship. In number 3, I've put the Cardiff City Stadium, and I do quite like the look of Cardiff City Stadium as well. I think it's quite good, but I'm not a fan of the red and blue mix from where they wore red, because they only thought red teams won more trophies. I'm not too sure about that, but you know, have a good atmosphere. Normally Cardiff City fans are normally quite loud and willing to have a go with the team, willing to get the team pumped up, and the prices are fair, and it's normally a good away day. That's why I put it this far up the list. Number 2, another recently relegated team from the Premier League, I put Craven Cottage. I do really like the look of Craven Cottage. It is similar to Loftus Road, but it is a bit older. I do like the stands. Fulham fans are quite decent as well. Some would say the best fans in Fulham, better than Chelsea fans. And they are quite loud, but it does need renovating in some areas, but the fans, and I hope they get rid of the neutral end as well, because it didn't have a neutral end. Maybe this would have been top. That neutral end, it just puts me off putting it top. And in at number 1, as much as it pains me to say, as much as it hurts to say, but I've got to put Elland Road of Leeds United. An away day at Elland Road is always a cracking experience. Leeds United do have some very good fans, and they're always up for it at Elland Road, especially when my team, Derby County, beat them in the playoff final semi-leg. The away fans and the home fans that whole game were just at it, ready for the game. And their fans love a good song, love a good shout, very rarely quiet, and when a goal goes in for Leeds United, you can barely hear yourself think. And it's also a good experience for away trippers. The prices are not that high for expecting where they should be for a stadium like Elland Road, but yeah, that's why it's number 1 for me. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like, and if you are brand new, please do subscribe. Tell me what you think down below, where these stadiums go, and this is just my opinion, so don't start having a go at me in the comments saying, oh, you're a dickhead and all this, just because I have a different opinion to you. I'll check yours out in the comment section down below. And anyway guys, my socials are on screen now. Follow me on Instagram, that is Harry Heath C, and also I have another one which is Heathcote FC. I have 2 Instagrams there. I also have my Snapchat, which is Heathcote_YT, and my Twitter, which is HBaileyHDCFC. Anyway guys, please do subscribe, share this around, and I'll see you in the next one.